I was never into rigmarole. I just give and I go make libations and blessings. I'm privileged enough to live to know. Get to know this real shit being distributed. Worry not about the messenger to which the gems distributed. Back to the basics. We came up from the basement. Never been one for compliance, so it's hard to be complacent. Niggas, this where they killing me. No clue where they case went. Getting closer to God to find out with spacemen. A Spartan with a sharp spear and a shine shield. Or respect our soldier, how I navigate this minefield. There's a war going on inside. Consequently, we suffer outwardly from what we choose to hide. Everybody imbibe to speak your heart, my nigga, real is the move. Transparency transfers the energy of truth. If say you see the path, then I advise you not to neglect it. Manifested from one source, we all interconnected. So relax, chill with me, dog. Crack a shell, crack a brew, come build with me, dog. No fake, no flaw, all real with me, dog. I'm just trying to plant these seeds, hit the field with me, dog. Relax, chill with me, love. Crack a shell, crack a brew, come build with me, love. No fake, no flaw, all real with me, love. I'm just trying to plant these seeds, hit the field with me, love. Relax, coast. Come overdose on this dope while these niggas doing the most. Let's to learn from they lyrics, just a catchy jingle. A project barely stand afloat on top of a single. This ain't that, this piece in the abstract, pulling tricks from a mad hat. Kicking the trap back, tearing down the walls of the maze around these lab rats. Shed the cool, but I ain't checking for more. Victory beyond flesh, what I'm wrestling for. A flawless reign, embracing this Mayweather more. Mining diamonds from my misfortune, but what you think the pressure for? I'm digging deeper, I'm climbing steeper. Made it through way too much hell to be a non-believer. I'm blessed. You'll find favor in the moment when you living in it. Live with discipline, not limit. You'll see the benefit. I'm trying to put you on this good game. Hop in the whip and hit this backwood while I maneuver wood grain. Maintain, relax, chill with me, dog. Crack a shell, crack a brew, come build with me, dog. No fake, no flaw, all real with me, dog. I'm just trying to plant these seeds, hit the field with me, dog. Relax, chill with me, love. Crack a shell, crack a brew, come build with me, love. No fake, no flaw, all real with me, love. I'm just trying to plant these seeds, hit the field with me, love.
About how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
614, we got one. Oh, yeah. Brooklyn to Buckeye. Let go. 614-718. Go. Niggas know I'm banging kick off the rip, don't trip. Or I grip something big, fuck around and make the car flip. Then I dip up the Ave, hit 1-6 with some bricks, had to make it flip. Now you see them, now you don't. No magic tricks, had to make a move, couldn't take a loss, so I feel like I could never lose. Team strong, money long. We a bunch of kings, you a bunch of pawns. I'm a dawn and I'm gone, heading to the face. Got a hope from every race, all up in my bed, giving head, screaming fuck Trump, in the feds, leave them dead. All blue flags, never red. Let go. Go! Straight for the top, never been shot. Still screaming, fuck the world like a pop. Got a Glock, send me tuck, target it quiet. hold them steady, she's ready. I'm in these niggas' nightmares like I'm ready. Till they realize this is real life. And I cut the desi. I'm locking loaded, strap over the chest like a rock and rolling. You won't stop, I can't stop going. I'm the next to blow up the 614. Next time you see me at the shoe, holla out, block go. O-H-I-O, let's go. O-H-I-O, 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 O-H-I-O. Let go, baby.
Check. Oh yeah. What's going on? It's Breaking Ground Radio, your station with local and mainstream collab, man. We are 614 and we in here. Yet another Thursday, man. It is going all the way absolutely down. Hope everyone's having a great evening. Hope you're on your way home safe or you made it home to the crib already because it's about an hour since the majority of y'all done got off. So, yeah, we here for you, man, making that wind down from the job that much easier. Of course, I got my assistant radio, my girl with me, Tiffany L. What's up, Ma?
What's up?
What's the word?
It's good. Today is a good day. I mean, minus all the snow, I'm excited, but not excited.
But the meteorologist said there wasn't supposed to be no snow till Saturday, but we all know how that always works.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I guess I was actually a little bit afraid we wasn't going to get any at all, which only further makes me worry about this whole, what we've done to our world and what's impending crisis is upon us because it should be winter. there should be cold weather and snow. I mean, we live in Ohio, so it was kind of a relief, I guess.
But it's living in Ohio, it's inevitable. I mean, we'll get snow at least once or twice. It wasn't bad this time around, but we're supposed to get like 2 or 3 inches come Saturday. So I
just wish they would, schedule it when I don't have to work.
Right,
so
right.
That would be preferable.
Right. As long as I'm at home, it's
right. Exactly. If you don't have to drive it, it's not that bad.
Oh yeah. As you notice, we are missing one pretty face. Our other half, Jess Doit, had to be at the house today, so she is here in spirit with us. We're gonna keep this thing rocking. We got a lot going on today. As usual, on the music side, we have a brand new track from our good friend and homies, Goldie and B Square, the DJ.
That's what's up.
Yeah, sent a single through the email earlier this afternoon. He's got a project that they promoting heavy. So big up to Goldie and B Square, the DJ, man. They've been working hard and grinding for a long time. So I'm anxious, as well as I know everybody else is, to hear the finished product. And we're going to get a sample of that a little later on in our Who's Next. You know what I mean? We got some other little tricks up our sleeves musically, man. But and then we'll get into what's going on this weekend. We got some stuff happening with Blatant, of course. We're gonna be at our home, one of our homes, Starstruck. We'll be there on Saturday.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that a little bit. So shout out to Starstruck and everybody over there. It's been a minute since I've been over there.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
The last time I was there was when Keys had his listening party.
Yep. So it's definitely been a minute. But yeah, what you got on your side? I'm excited about our guest.
Yes, I'm so I literally don't want to waste any time on anything else because I'm so excited. So we have Yurima Karama today. And if you do not know who Yurima Karama is, he is an activist, a poet, a hip hop artist. He's done it all, and he is a founder of the Unity Walk. He has done so many things for the community, but not just ours, just the Black community in general. And we're excited to talk with him. We are going to discuss the McDonald's case. We are going to discuss R. Kelly. We have to, I think, if we were going to bring up R. Kelly, bring up Cosby and our views on men who I think in the past have been viewed as our heroes or people that we look up to, we admire, who have been talented and have done well in the entertainment industry and what they mean to us. But, as we continue to find out the behind the scenes stories, there's some letdown, there's some major disappointments and disgust. Also, Trump, I don't know how we cannot talk about this shutdown, one of the longest shutdowns that we've been on, and what it's all about in this wall. Later on, we're gonna lighten it up a little bit with Whitney Chanel, our homie that we love so much. Yeah. She is going to actually start a recurring segment with us, where she is gonna tell us about, you know, what it's like to be a single Black woman dating, the safe ways to do it, the fun ways to do it, and also some makeup tips. So I am excited for her to come in as well and see if she'll also shed some light on some of the things that Mr. Karama has to say. So
for sure,
it's a good show. I literally like my whole trending topics and all the other stuff. It doesn't even matter because the trending topics are going to come up in everything that we're going to discuss today. So
right. No doubt. Well, before we get into that, let's go ahead and bust the new Goldie joint. You know what I mean? We'll roll that out now. Again, matter of fact, let me because I want to make sure I get the title of his project that he's got coming out. And I know I just saw it, but the name of the song, the name of the single is 8 Mile. That's the name of the single, and it is off a project that is either out already or it's coming out really soon. But like I said, the homie, shout out to the homie B Square, the DJ. He sent me the song this afternoon. Shout out to Goldie. I know he's super excited. We're super excited that this is coming out, and we can't be thankful enough for the exclusive joint. So here we go. Without further ado, shout out B Square, the DJ. Shout out to homie Goldie. The song is called 8 Mile. You heard it right here. Breaking Ground Radio. We break tracks. We be right back, man. Y'all don't go nowhere. Hey, Goldie, I see you, dog. Stand up. We square the DJ. What up? Holla.
I've been through this shit before. They had the keys and wasn't trying to open doors. Switcher. Freak. Now I'm about to snap. Hey, I remember times when you ain't had my back. Hey, now I'm back. Hey, and now I don't call that bitch back. Hey, corduroys, I never slack. Hey, I'm just trying to bone. Look, freaky bitches on my line right now. Good drugs make a nigga really bite down. Hey, Eric bought a Navy, so it's hard to climb out. Hey, niggas couldn't find me in this fucking hideout. Look, hey, this bitch my phone, and I hope I signed out on my fucking Instagram and my Facebook accounts. Hey, this shit could get litty as fuck. And I'm in your city as fuck, but B&B feeling like Biggie and Puff. No better yet, Dame and Russ. Ain't too many can't bang with us. Straight up, we no angel dust. Label us notorious. Gang, look, I don't got remorse. Hey. They forgot that I've been through this shit before. Ay, they had the keys and wasn't trying to open doors. Switcher. Freak. Now I'm about to snap. Ay, I remember times when you ain't had my back. Ay, now I'm back. Ay, and now I don't call that bitch back. Ay, corduroys, I never slack. Ay, I'm just trying to bone. Look, ay, so I put her in my song. Look, ay, send a hook like my long. Look, ay, and I'm dressed to a T-style. Ay, look, gotta keep a pistol, niggas hostile. Check, look, chain on my neck gave me West now. Check, bitch, this verse worth 2 M's. This that 8 Mile. Hey, look, hey, this bitch my phone, and I hope I signed out on my fucking Instagram and my Facebook account. Hey, cause this party is crazy as fuck, and you looking amazing as fuck, and one of my bitches is shady as fuck, and you be a lady as fuck, even when bitches is faded as fuck. Shit, I want a lady or something, but I don't wanna make you my lady for nothing. Hey, truth be told, you the hottest in your city clothes. As far as city goes, you looking like the city go. Shit, I might put you in my videos, cause you go live like Arsenio. No time for no silly hoes. Look, I don't got remorse. Ay, they forgot that I've been through this shit before. Ay, they had the keys and wasn't trying to open doors. Freak. Now I'm about to snap.
Breaking Ground Radio with local and mainstream collab. That was the exclusive joint. The homie Goldie, man. The song is called 8 Mile. You heard it first. Right here, Breaking Ground Radio, man. We break We break tracks. That's what we do here, man. Shout out Goldie. Shout out B Square, the DJ, man. Make sure you look out for that whole entire project. The cover art is super dope. Tiffany, I'll let you see it if you haven't seen it. It's crazy. So I already know what the tunes is going to be like. So that's where we at. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep this thing rolling. Man. You know, we're going to get, like I said, man, it's and I say this all the time. I know Tiffany might be even sick of me saying it, but as much fun as we have on this show, and how much shenanigans we have, and we talk about music, and we talk about events that's going on in the 614, and we just drink sometimes, have a good old time, brother. But we cannot forget that there's some real life stuff happening out here. Yeah. And I don't particularly like to use the term woke, but we have to be aware. We have to constantly be aware of what's happening and be able to at least have some type of, voice or opinion or stand in some of the stuff that we see from whether it be a celebrity or somebody up the block or our president or the president or whatever.
I was like, president.
Right.
You mean that one dude?
Right, that one dude.
He does not get all that respect.
So I know sometimes we might lose a few listeners while we talk about stuff like this, but to be perfectly honest, it doesn't bother me because again, we have to take time out to talk about some of this stuff. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm gonna give the mic to Tiffany, let her introduce our first host, and we're gonna get right into it.
Our first guest, but yeah.
Our first guest.
Yeah, you did.
I was trying to catch you, Tiffany, make sure you weren't slipping.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was. Go ahead.
Okay, we are live right now, and I'm so excited because we have Yurima Karama on. Yurima Karama, if you are not familiar, is been around for a long time, loving this city, trying to get us together. He has been an activist. He has been a poet. If you've ever been to the Nest or what the Nest once was, he was a regular and an OG, if you will, dropping knowledge of all times about all things Black culture and kings and queens and what our real reality should be. He is the founder of the Unity Walk. He is a spoken word artist. He is a hip hop artist. He is here today to enlighten us on his views on R. Kelly and all of these things that are going on, allegations in regards to whether Black women are truly safe, whether they are regarded as they should be. And we're going to talk about the incident that happened in Florida, McDonald's, with the young lady and the white man that assaulted her. And we're also going to discuss Trump, 45, and what his antics are and the effects they are having on us currently. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right on you, brother. Please, whatever you want to say. I'm just here to listen.
Thank you for being here, first of all.
Oh, thank you all for having me. I'm so elated. Anytime, this is always a great opportunity to, to talk to the family, speak with the family, and also listen and gain some knowledge, wisdom, and oversight as well. So I thank you, Tiff, for reaching out. Brother, your DJ, I love you, brother, and what you've been doing. We need to connect a little bit more too.
I agree.
But so I just thank you all for having me. The situation with R. Kelly, and I did a stream the other night on IG pertaining to R. Kelly. So I will tell you, I will preface this by saying that I will keep this a lot cleaner than I kept that for purposes of being on the radio. But I think that, first of all, the type of behavior that is exuded by R. Kelly and others within our community, we have to stop overlooking that. We have to stop making excuses for that. And one thing that I was noticing, particularly as I was scrolling down, and the power in social media these days, and DARPA uses it, the military uses it, the FBI uses it to gauge people's thought patterns and that sort of thing. But I use it as well because you can really kind of get a gauge on some numbers. You can kind of get a gauge on where certain people are at just by the memes that they post. And one thing that I was noticing was that there was this meme that was up, and it kept saying before you watch Surviving R. Kelly, why aren't we watching, or something to the effect, you got to watch Surviving Kevin Spacey, Surviving Matt Lauer, Surviving Harvey Weinstein. And my thing was, although it's a slick meme, it was coming from Black women. And my thing is, okay, that sounds good on the surface, but let's deal with R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's deal with our community. You know, and I think a lot of times, and it goes deeper to the fact of us, when we make those type of statements or we put that kind of thing up there, it's almost like we really believe like we are amalgamated into this society.
Mm-hmm.
We really believe like we are, you know, like everything is fair, even, and balanced.
Mm-hmm.
We really believe like when we make that statement, like we really believe like Bill Cosby is like doing time right now.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
There's not a white man that's doing time right now. So I think that we have to face certain realities in this country. And certain realities is that when it comes to equal balance, it's not there. You know, black people might be here and white people are still here. And so justice is meted out differently. And it just is. And there's so many numerous court cases we could go through to talk about this, to show and prove. Right. I still don't know. I posed the question like months back. Name me one white man in this country that's been convicted of lynching a black person. Wow. Just name me one in the history of this country.
Wow.
And so when we talk about meted out justice, it's really not. So we can't make a comparison between R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein or Matt Lauer, or because we know that the justice is going to be meted out so much differently. But what we can do, and my focus is what we need to do for our community. If we're saying that R. Kelly is a part of the black community, and that's my concern, and I make no apologies for that, because you know, and again, when you look at money that trickles down, when you look at government funding, when you look at these things, it goes to the suburbs first, then the rural areas. The black community, we're the last to get everything.
Absolutely.
And so my concern has to be us, because if I make it comparable to a burning house, I have to put out the fire in my house before I can help you with yours. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. So I think let's keep the focus. R. Kelly is a child molester. He's a pedophile.
Period.
And was doing it with Laleah. We saw the video with him urinating on a black female. So, and I got friends from Chicago that know him personally, grew up with him. They said, yo, y'all asleep on this dude. We've been knowing this. My thing is, if you've been knowing it, why wasn't that conduct punished?
Right.
Right.
Why? There's a protocol. And so, and I think that there's a protocol and there's a protocol, but it's a protocol that we're not adhering to. And that protocol should be hands off our black girls, hands off of our black women, you know, and then it ties in. And I want to make the connection between that and the McDonald's incident. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about the molestation of girls, particularly black girls, and I'm always saying it, black girls and black women, period, have it the roughest on planet Earth. When you talk about exploitation, when you talk about rape, when you talk about low wages, when you talk about just trying to make it in a world that has deemed you promiscuous, that has deemed you nothing more than in some cases sex slaves. When we look at all these factors, black women and black girls have it the roughest on planet Earth. And so therefore, that's my concern. And when we look at R. Kelly and other cases like him, we have to stop protecting pedophilia. We have to stop protecting rape in our community, because the fact of the matter is that 8 out of 10 young black girls are molested before they reach adult age. 8 out of 10. And it's usually going to be a family member, a family friend, or a pastor or reverend in the community. So what does that say? Because when we talk about the numbers, now we're talking about a domino effect, and we're just taking molestation. So that black girl who is molested, who gets no therapy for it because the black community wants to keep so many secrets, they don't want to deal with these issues. A lot of times a blind eye is turned. We look the other way when the black girl or the young black child is saying, you know what? No, I don't want to go to my uncle, and we're pushing that child go. We should probably be listening to that child. That child is sensing some things. That child hasn't been put with all the impurities that we adults have. They still have purity with them. And so they can feel certain things that we may not be able to feel. So we have to take that into consideration. But now that black girl that's been molested, she grows up, has no therapy, and now she's in a relationship. And we wonder why black love isn't working. And so that's just the domino effect of one.
Yeah.
We're talking 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that molestation doesn't always have to be penetration. That molestation can be touched the wrong way. You know, we have to define this, and that we all know pastors or somebody in our family that's not right and exact. Yeah. I remember the video. I think it was, what was her name? The sister Little Mo. I think it was Lil Mo up in New York, where she's confronting, I think it was her uncle or some close family relative. She's confronting him at a restaurant saying, this is what you did to me. And he sat there looking stupid because he couldn't say nothing because he knew it was true.
Right.
But that moment of clarity was her therapy that she had never gotten. She had to live with that. And so I'm always going to, you know, first and foremost, we're not going to deflect. We need to deal with that. And I put, you know, I did a social media thing, and I got a lot of backlash particularly from black men.
Yeah.
You know, well, what about the black boys that get molested? Okay, we need to deal with that. That needs to be addressed. But let's keep our focus. Right now, we're looking at R. Kelly. Don't try to deflect from the situation. Let's deal with the black men that are doing this nefarious, diabolical type behavior. Because, and I think Malcolm said it best, you know, if you got one dog in the community with rabies, you have to get rid of it lest it bite and infect the rest of the community. And that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with acts of pedophilia, when we're dealing with acts of rape of our young black women. And when our young black women can't feel safe around black men, that is a problem. It's a major problem that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
Do you think that so much of it stems of our want to denying, oh, but let's get these other people, if we're going to get R. Kelly, let's also get them? Because I remember that being, you know, a big thing when Cosby was going down. And I'm going to be honest, when it was first coming out, you know, as someone who, like most, grew up watching the Cosby Show, it was devastating to me. I wasn't someone who had known about these previous things that he had kind of kept under wraps, or women that he had paid off in the past. And so as it was all coming out, I was definitely one of those people like, no, it's ridiculous. White chicks are just hating on him, you know, just trying to bring the black man down. We had heard that there was speculation about how he was trying to buy, I believe it was CBS and NBC. And so because of that, you know, he had made someone angry. And I can see the, you know, whole conspiracy theory idea playing out of, yeah, that seems like some white people would do. They got mad at him, and so therefore they brought up something. Or, you know, it's that whole, like, if you ever seen the Dave Chappelle thing where he has this skit where the cops get somebody, but they didn't really do anything wrong, or they accidentally kill somebody, or they hit somebody, they hit like a crackhead, and they were like, or maybe it wasn't even a crackhead, just a black person or whatever, and in order to cover up their tracks, sprinkle some crack, because if you deflect, oh, he's a bad guy, oh, he did something, then it never comes back to what the root of the issue was, which was that they had done something in the first place. Now, so it makes you think, well, is it that he stepped on somebody's toes? Did he say something wrong? Did he not do something these white people wanted? And now all of a sudden, 50 women, like these 50 women just been waiting. But then it was like, as the number climbed, and you were just like, dang, did you do this? Oh, this is devastating. This is so sad. This is America's father. Like, you know, this is the black community. Like, so many people got their start on his show. What does this mean now if you decide to watch that show? Should I stop watching the show? Is that putting more money into a bad guy's pocket? Like, is this sending the wrong message to my kids that you can watch the actor play a role because the role he's playing is Dr. Huxtable. He is a good guy, but you know, you have to separate that from Bill Cosby, the man who took some Quaaludes and gave it to some chicks, and they may or may not have participated in these, you know what I mean? So then it brings up the whole music. You know, there's a big debate on Facebook of whether or not you can listen to R. Kelly's music but not really be, you know, supporting him. And, you know, my thought process is I don't know how you can, but I don't know how it's any different than me watching the Cosby Show. So I just feel like I remember when the OJ, I know I'm saying a lot, so
no, you're fine.
Follow me if you can, but I remember when the whole OJ thing went down and like, you know, it was this feeling of, and I was probably in 5th or 6th grade when the trial and he was acquitted. And I remember Black people being like, yes, you know, we got one, you know, like, yeah, we good, as if he was a good guy. And then later you continue to find out like, no, like he probably really did that. Like he probably really killed her. Like, and then you watch the further documentaries and you watch videos and you're like, nah, yeah, he probably really did that. And we were happy because even though we know he probably did it, think about all the white people that get off for all those things. So it's like we won something in this, but really we didn't win anything. Like we just let a bad guy free. Like we let a killer free, and we seem to be okay with that because we know that there's white killers that are free. That doesn't make it even because he may or may not decide to go kill somebody else. Like, you know, it's just, I remember that being a big deal, and I'm wondering if that's why people are so quick to be like, well, they didn't bring up Matt Lauer yet, they didn't finish with Kevin Spacey yet, they didn't finish with Weinstein yet. Why they dragging? Oh, they just trying to get another Black person and bring Black people down. Well, it's like, no, if it's real, and what we're hoping is happening is that they're bringing a bad guy down. Like he's a bad guy. Like he's a molester. Like let's get him. Let's get them all.
Well, I think the difference, and I will stick to what I've said as far as Bill. I'll get a lot of disagreement on this, but I don't think Bill did it, and I think that they showed. There's other things behind the scenes that are going on with Bill. It wasn't just NBC. There was some land things going on in his particular place that he lives, that he owns, that some people want. So the story it's a little bit deeper. And also they changed. Remember with Bill, they changed venues. But not only changed venues, they changed DAs. Like if you know, like the DA is probably the most powerful person in a community, in a city, because the DA, they decide which cases get pushed and which don't. As far as the law. So when you start seeing these cops or these, you know, that are killing Black people and they're not getting charged and that stuff, that's the DA. And so not pushing that. And so, you know, I mean, let a court of law trial, but they're not even in most cases even making it to a court of law. So that's the DA making a decision. In the case of Bill, that particular woman that got that conviction, remember, the DA originally, the first DA said there's no case. And the reason I say that Bill didn't do it is because I don't know of ne'er white man, especially prosecutor in this country, who, if they don't have a chance to burn a Black man, especially a Black man of his stature, they're going to do it. When he said that there's no case, that woman literally the next DA that came based his career and based his campaign on he's going to be the one to get Bill Cosby. That's how he got into office. But you had a seasoned DA in there this guy wasn't new. This guy was a seasoned DA saying there's no case. If I had a case, I would try it. And he basically said that the woman was lying, that her story changed so many times. So now when you go through all of these means to get a man, I think that, you know, it just shows itself. And that's without all the trial testimony. That's without all the going into the, you know, the discovery, the motions and all of that. I just look at the nefarious nature. The case started in Cali, moved to Pennsylvania. The DA in Pennsylvania said there is no case, said this woman is clearly lying. Her story it changes up so much. And then a prosecutor comes along and bases his whole campaign on, if you elect me, I'm going to get Bill Cosby. And she rode his tail wings on that. And so that's a different thing. R. Kelly, we know, like there's no circumstantial evidence. There's no, well, is there DNA testing? We know that this is his MO. He deals with young girls. We know just with Aaliyah That was enough right there.
Yeah.
And so then now it gets more nefarious. The argue with Bill Cosby. I mean, you had Studio 54 back then, the 60s and 70s. That was a culture of dropping quaaludes, doing acid.
Right.
That was the culture. So, I mean, you can argue now 30, 40, 50 years later, well, look at what he did. But that was the culture. Everybody was doing that, especially in that element.
Right.
Excuse me. So with OJ, keep in mind that you haven't, and so just like you can't show a white man who's been convicted of lynching in this country, I think OJ was the first black man accused of not only killing a white woman, he's like the first to walk accused of killing a white woman.
Right.
Now, remember, you got black men in this country that have been lynched. They got a whole museum down in Alabama about lynchings. Right. You had black men being castrated, being lynched, and while they're hanging from the rope, body parts being cut off for a lie that a white woman told. I mean, Emmett Till, prime example. She's on her deathbed talking, yeah, I lied. Why isn't she in jail? This young man lost his life, and the two guys that did it admitted after they were found not guilty, because you can't be tried twice.
Yeah,
they came out and admitted and said it in a magazine. So for a lie, we've had black men die for a lie. And so did OJ do it? At this point, I don't care. It's over with. Live with it. Like we've had to live with 400 years of black men, women, and children dying. Mary Turner died. Like they hung her, set her on fire for speaking back about her husband not committing a crime. They hung her, set her on fire. And when they set her on fire, she was 8 months pregnant. They cut the baby out of her stomach and stomped it.
Yeah, I remember.
Am I worried about OJ potentially killing a white woman that he was found not guilty of? And I think the case with OJ is a little bit bigger. OJ had actually a jury of his peers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I remember when Oprah came out with that and was talking to the black jurors that sat on that jury.
Right.
And there's so many cases of white juries in this country with the one lone black person in there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the white juror saying he's guilty, and the black person feeling like I'm the only black person in here. What do I do? No, he's guilty. Mm-hmm. Like, did you hear the evidence? He's guilty. Mm-hmm. Let's burn him. As a matter of fact, let's have lunch and then let's go find him guilty and get on up out of here. Right. And so, I mean, so do we let a bad person go? I don't. I'm not condoning any type of nefarious behavior. But what I am saying is that in one case, it's clear cut. And in another, you can actually see the conspiracy theory come to life, come to true fruition.
We're going to do a quick break, but I have two questions. One about R. Kelly, then another one about the McDonald's thing. So I'm at the double question you. Sorry about that, but we're going to take a quick break. We got Whitney Chanel here.
Hey guys.
Our family. Hi.
Hey girl.
How are you?
With a shockingly new hairdo.
I know.
Love it.
You never know how she's coming.
Never know. It's always a fun surprise.
It's always a fun surprise. Shout out to the homie Bizzo, man. The homie right there. He has heard me yet. We'll be right back, man. Breaking Ground Radio. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ Swamp. Bizzo. Yeah. Welcome y'all to Something Smooth. Yeah.
I can't bring it more attention than it's worth, huh? This was a classic at its birth, huh? I guess this is where I leave the birthmark. Probably as soon as the verse start. Hi, my name is Bizzo, live inside instrumentals. Guys write riddles and I'm too big to be little. Ignorantly into, learn from every sender, even if the teacher's mental. Learn from the beginning, everything don't need a pencil. Spit it off the temple, I've been in and out of tempo ever since I was little. All the swag, a lot of rhythm. Been out of competition, but I'm full of all these hit sticks, hit tracks with a vengeance, especially when I'm venting like Serena off the pitch over the net. I'm trying to win it. Oh yeah, where the women got me poolside sitting, champagne sitting, ain't a thing, just living. Put your hands up, win it, ballin' like Ben Simmons. We been on the edge, got me thinking of a reason why they sleeping on the kid. Grinding's all they said. Grind and get ahead. I ain't heard nobody like me, but they still ain't heard me yet.
Yeah, they still ain't heard me yet.
We been on the edge, got me thinking of a reason why they sleeping on the kid. Grind is all they said. Grind and get ahead. I ain't heard nobody like me, but they still ain't heard me yet. Yeah, they still ain't heard me yet. I'm working on some more installments, still ain't heard me yet. Still ain't heard that sun and shade, still ain't heard my best. Still ain't heard that snow and cold, still don't know the rest. Draft series getting old, still ain't heard of it. Many tapes in, but they still ain't heard me yet. I don't know what else is next, only counting on a check. When my baby mother left, knew my life was something reckless, had to pass a new test. Didn't study up against it, but I rise against the test. Thought I'd kill a man to death, but she still ain't heard me yet. I reacted some crazy-ish, I interacted, encountered some craziness. Punchlines like I babysit, similarly ancient biz. I understand in life there's some things that's more important. Matters like our piece of the pie, we need a portion. I always thought my life was third person storyboarded. We in the game balling, but I don't know what the score is. Young Columbus veteran, hip hop mixed with nouns and predicates. Always put that extra effort in. Yeah, they doubted, but the Lord forgave, and I bowed to him. So I came to say I hope my mom and city proud of me. I treat everything in life like a big game and hide and seek. 10 seconds left, I'ma get it, the legend inside of me. Any stress I had left is me getting it out of me. Don't believe me, you ain't met with the person I'm about to be. Look, you took a couple steps, it don't look like I'm out of me. And you still ain't heard me yet, but ain't speaking out loud to me. It's on. We been on the edge, got me thinking of a reason why they sleeping on the kid. Grind is all they said. Grind and get ahead. I ain't heard nobody like me, but they still ain't heard me yet.
Yeah, they still ain't heard me yet.
We been on the edge, got me thinking of a reason why they sleeping on the kid. Grind is all they said. Grind and get ahead. I ain't heard nobody like me, but they still ain't heard me yet.
Yeah, they still ain't heard me yet.
Breaking Ground Radio with Local and Mainstream collab. We are
They
back
got me.
in the building. We up here, man, having a very in-depth conversation. First of all, shout out to homie Bizzle that was heard me yet. You can make sure I'm posting all the songs on our Breaking Ground Radio Instagram page, so you can go back if you happen to miss it and see the post. You can go back, make sure you follow those pages if you aren't already, and you can catch the movement on their page. And yeah, so again, we're having a very very deep conversation with our brother, our big bro. I guess I'll start calling you now, our big brother. Is it because I'm bad with? Is it your? How do you say it?
Urema.
Okay.
Karama. Yeah.
Urema Karama. So I have two questions real quick.
Yeah.
One about McDonald's and one about R. Kelly. I think I'll do the R. Kelly first. So throughout R. Kelly's career, because I think Tiffany kind of mentioned this. We grew up, listening to him. We grew up in our era, when we were kids and young teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
and he was definitely an R&B legend to a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
His nickname is literally the king of R&B.
So, right.
So we grew up thinking that's who he was.
And that's kind of where I'm going, because one of his other nicknames was the Pied Piper. And
Right.
those who know who the Pied Piper was, it wasn't a good character.
Mm-hmm.
He played music to real children out
Mm-hmm.
from their parents.
It was Rats originally.
Right,
They-
originally.
the townspeople wouldn't pay him to have done the job to get rid of the rats. So
Mhm.
therefore he was like, "Oh, I got you," and so he played the music and lured the children away, never to be seen again.
So with-
Charlamagne the God talks about it all the time.
Yeah. So with that and other very clear
Mhm.
points about who he was, what kind of man he was,
Mm-hmm.
because he talked about what kind of man he was within his heart.
Yeah.
Why wasn't someone or somebody, or maybe there was, but how come it wasn't really brought to attention that, wait a minute, I don't think he's saying this. This is really something he's telling us about who he is as a person. Maybe somebody should go and knock on this man's door and see what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
So why did it go so long? Why do we accept him being the Pied Piper and accept him, being so engaged with who clearly were young females. Aaliyah was 14, he was 27.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I'm sorry, like I said, I'm gonna have to double question you here. And then going to the McDonald's joint, I really just wanted, because it was heated last week, like Tiffany said, but I just want to know what your opinion is on the guys that were there. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the two co-workers and the manager after he grabbed the girl, regardless if she started swinging, even if she just fell to the floor? How did you feel about those guys' reactions?
Okay, so for R. Kelly, I think we're celebrity worshipers.
Yep, that's also.
And you know, when you get on a level where you're, you know, you got to remember he had the potentiality before he blew, because he was with public announcement before he became. So the potentiality was there for him to become successful. There's a lot of people that we tend to overlook, and we celebrity worship, and we don't do enough research. So when he was telling us, it's not like you and I could go up and really rap to this dude. Like, yo, what is you doing? Right. Like, it was the people closest to him, but they're getting paid. They're getting paid. And so, you know, he's taking care of whole families, which is why some of these mothers, which is the most disgusting part of it, is why some of these mothers were allowing their daughters in his care anyway, because he was taking care of them. He was basically paying a service, you know, and when you look at the whole culture of celebrity worship, and you talked about Dave Chappelle in his skit that he did, but there's also another skit Dave Chappelle did with R. Kelly, and there was somebody else. But basically, the skit, he's on the stand, and the prosecutor is asking Dave all these questions, like, if we told you about this guy, basically what it came down to, what could we tell you about this guy or these guys to make you find them guilty? And he's basically like, nothing. And they throw, like, if we put him on tape and his voice and he's telling you that he's doing this, and Dave was just like, I still wouldn't go for it. And that's kind of how we are as a people. We get people that corporate run media puts in front of us, and we latch on to them. And in most cases, and it's sad to say, and I talk about it all the time, but in most cases, we will fight for the death for people that we don't even know, and people that we see every day will try to kill them. And that's how it is in our communities. Like if we showed the love in our communities to one another, the way that people show love to R. Kelly, the way that people show love to celebrities that they have never met, to people that will never give them $5 if they ask for it. If we showed the same kind of love to one another, our communities wouldn't be in desolate conditions like they are. And so back to your question, he had a group of people around him who were yes men, because I'm getting paid. Because if you're not willing to hold me accountable for my actions, and I'm feeding you and your family, and you're not willing to step up, I mean, that's where we're at. Right. That's where we're at. Yeah. And so that's what happened. Yeah. And so it just grew, because now I'm not being held accountable. Now I've even taken on the nickname Pied Piper, and I'm a legend. I got women throwing their panties at me at every concert, and nobody's checking me on my bad, negative behavior. It must be okay. And we see it every day. It doesn't have to be R. Kelly. We see it with the local drug dealer in the hood. He starts getting a little money, a little status, and I either want to be this dude or I want to be around him, so I can get some of the crumbs. And then you see this dude doing not straight diabolical terroristic type action, and it gets supported by his crew. Until he falls. Yeah. So as far as the McDonald's, I think that we have an effeminate culture of men. As a matter of fact, I can't even really relate to them as men. Right. They're boys. They're males. That's what I said. They're males. Yeah. And I mean, I grew up in an era when, men didn't when men said something, like you listened.
Right.
Like if a man said something, because they might not do a whole lot of talking, but when they say something, it's like,
yeah,
I know what comes next.
Right.
After this, and it's not going to be no words.
Right.
And so, you know, for a sister to have to fight with men around, for a sister to have to fight with men around is like the most ludicrous thing to me. Like it was takeoff time. Like you work with her, you know her, you don't know this dude across the counter. And that's my thing again. A prime example, like you work with her. This dude you've never met, and you got the nerve to grab her.
Yeah.
You got the nerve to grab her, but who's trying to fight to defend herself.
Right.
And so then when the argument comes, well, maybe they were afraid for their jobs. Look, it's McDonald's, man.
Right. That was my exact argument. There's a million fast food restaurants.
I mean, and I guarantee you that
ones with the millions,
I guarantee you that none of them have aspirations to own the McDonald's one day.
Right.
I guarantee it. They ain't even thinking that far.
Right.
This is a job.
Right.
But even more so, integrity comes like if I'm in a situation like that, that's my sister, that's my niece. Job, we can get a job anytime. We can get a just like I got this job, I can get another job.
Yeah.
But I can't afford to have this woman accosted in front of me and I do nothing. Like years ago, you couldn't even come back to the community with no information like that. Like, yo, what did you do? When she comes back with the information, the first question, well, Tyrone was there. What did you do?
Absolutely right.
You just stood there.
Absolutely right. Yep.
I mean, come on. Right. So to come up and brothers coming up with the excuses like, oh, they could have lost their job or they could have gone to jail, or you, Rima, you know what they doing to black men out here. Yeah. And you know what? Some of what they doing to black men is because black men ain't standing up.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with that.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Let's be honest with that.
Yeah.
And some of what they're doing, the reason they treat our people the way they do is because they know that our people have no protection. They know that they can come into our communities. We're the only community. You couldn't go into Chinatown and do that. You could not go to any Chinese establishment in Chinatown and accost one of their women without some severe repercussions behind that.
Exactly.
And so we have to, but I think some of that comes with training too. I think that the same black men who talk about, well, hey, they could have lost their job, or no, because then you go to jail. I think some of those same black men should be in the home teaching our young black boys what it means to protect. What it means not to be emotional reactionaries, what it means to stand between you and her, or him and her, when there's danger coming at her,
right,
and not behind her,
right.
And I think that, a lot of times we lose a lot of respect from the community, and it's another secret. It's not so much a secret, but it's just something that's really not said. Right. Like, I don't respect you. And granted, this is obviously isn't all black men that I'm talking about. Part of it is desensitizing. And there probably needs to be a balance because social media, that's the flip side of social media too, where you get all of this and then you start to become desensitized. Maybe we need more videos of black men protecting black women. My thing is, where are they at?
Right.
They
don't film those though. That's what it is. They don't film those, or if they do some good editing,
right,
and put whatever is going to get the most buzz. That's what they put on social media,
right?
And that's my thing. And I was telling, I was having some conversations with some friends of mine, even from our last week's conversation about it, and I said two things. I said, you know what? I said, I won't be surprised if that man knew them boys weren't going to do nothing because of what you said earlier. Just because we don't do that. We are one of, if not the only race that falls away from supporting each other.
Yeah.
that falls away from that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I don't think he was scared. He thought he would be able to get away with what he can get away with because of who he was and his race.
Yeah.
And everything. And he looked at them dudes like, no, I ain't about to do nothing.
Right.
But he didn't know what the girl was going to do.
Exactly.
And he got taught. But then I was like, there should be a trigger. We all sit here. I sit here and I work with females all the time. I have a show with my co-host and I'm good friends with females. But I'm smiling. I'm having a great time. I'm enjoying life. But there's a trigger. And if anybody walks in that door or walks in my job or my home or something, and I sense any type of negativity, any type of danger, not for me, but for the people around me, then it's automatic. I might not necessarily throw a punch, but just like you said, there's going to be a position that I hold that's going to let you know you can't take another step before something bad happens to you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you said the key word, and I think that's been forcefully taken out of us. And some of it has been with police presence within our communities because it's literally the Gestapo. But you said something that's key, and it's a warrior's mentality. Like it's automatic. You know, it's automatic. For me, it's automatic. If I see a black woman being accosted, it's automatic. We take off. We don't even have to think about it. Like the lion doesn't think about when they're hungry, they're going at that food. It's not, they don't think about it, or their baby's being attacked. And I think that when we get down to what it means for us as a culture and what we've been through in this country, I think for some of us, it's just automatic. It just, and whatever the repercussions, it's just the repercussions. Right. But I can't, and I think that some of it is spiritual too. And I think you're just like me, family. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. If I was the dude at McDonald's, that shit might drive me to suicide.
Right.
Literally like, cause I'll think about it later. Like, damn, what was you thinking, dude? Right. Like me personally, that would not sit good with my soul.
Right.
My soul would ache, and then I might even be looking for I'm looking for a situation now. So I mean, feel better. But if you don't have that in you to begin with, then you can't even see the fallacy in your behavior. And I mean, but with that, I did a poll. On my IG, and I asked simple question. I did a live stream on R. Kelly. I talked about the McDonald's situation and I asked, and I did one on Facebook too. And I said, do black women feel protected in the black community? I got thousands on my IG. So I was able to do a poll like that. I got thousands on Facebook. Overwhelming 99% said no. And the few that said yes was with when I have my spouse with me, or when I have my sons with me, or I felt safe back in the day growing up.
Right.
Black men were protectors, but not so much right now. Right. And that spawned out of a video. So the McDonald's video was bad, but then they got another video out, and it's like this sister's at a gas station. I don't know if you've all seen that, but she's at a gas station surrounded by black men. Now they're not putting their hands on her, but the dude that's commentating, they got her surrounded. She's just trying to get gas and move out. They got her surrounded. So they got her in a circle and they talking about, we gonna pimp. This is pimping. And you could tell that the sister was frightened, but she was trying to smile to play it off. But just that. And so I asked that question from that video, like, do black women feel protected, or is this an isolated incident? Black women don't feel protected. And that's sad. Yeah. That's sad, man. Yeah. So it goes beyond the McDonald's. It goes, and a brother got on my page and said, man, why would you ask that question? Because there are some black men out here that protect. Why would you ask that question and get black women riled up at us even more so? Well, why wouldn't I ask that question? Right. Shouldn't you want to know how black women feel in their community? Don't you want to know that information? I do, so that I can do better. What do you mean? And so that's the type of behavior that I'm talking about. Why would I ask that question? Why? Because you asking me some stuff like that because you want to keep it hidden. And it's the same thing with R. Kelly. It's the same thing with the pastor who's sitting up there sleeping with the whole congregation. Everybody knows it, but nobody's saying nothing. It's the same across the board. We keep hidden secrets. And I'm not saying that it needs to be exposed to the world, but we need to be talking about it. We need to be doing better. And we're not.
Yeah. Do you think that is the fear, that if we do speak up, if we had said something about R. Kelly, that it would have been the scrutiny of black people and black entertainers and black men versus the scrutiny of one incident of one particular sexual molester? Do you think that is what our fear is, of like, if we expose, like, no, we know he is up to no good, he is definitely, that it'll shine a more negative light on us as a black people, like in the white people's mind? Like, obviously they already have their thoughts about what they think about us anyway, but like further, like, see, look at them. They ain't even no good to their own people. Look at them. And he got a whole room full of chicks and little black girls, and now we're hearing about a whole room full of black boys that he's got. You know, oh yeah, girl, there's talk about whether he's got boys off to the side too. And you know, one of the survivors, she went on a radio show, Geronda Pace, I believe is her name, and she wrote a book, and she like was exposing, you know, her relationship with him was only 8 months, and she actually met him at his trial. Like, she went to the trial because she, you know, was like, she was 15. She was 15 and she was from Chicago, and she believed in him. And, you know, that whole like, no, I grew up loving him. You know, he's on the radio, da, 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 da. I don't think he did all this, whatever. That's how she went with those intentions. But she's 15. You have to keep that in mind. Like, actually, she was technically 14 at the time. But, and then later, you know, through one of his people, he hit her up and, you know, was like, oh, I saw you at my trial. Thank you for the support, yada, yada, yada. And then they continued to talk. And then their first time they had sex, she was 16. But like she talked about in their 8 months, she said the first time it was like a normal situation, like a normal sexual encounter. And then after that, like, then he was introducing her into, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Then he was introducing her into dildos and how he wanted her to use them on him. And then he introduced her to like one of his dudes, like his friends, and how the friend gave him head, like a man friend gave him head in front of her. And he was just like, I just want to know that I can trust you and I can, you know, all this stuff. And it's all in this book. And she talked about like a couple of the incidences, and this one, another time where she did a strap on or whatever, and doggy styled him, and how he always videotaped everything. My thought process is how bold it is for you to videotape it so that you can watch it again when you know the potential for, you know, it getting out is ridiculous. But to combat that, what he was doing was he was having everybody sign, you know, NDA agreements. And then also he had her, she said this, write a letter of apology to him, saying that she had stole some money from him, that she had done all these things to, you know, whatever that were not, I can't remember any of the things, but one of the things was that she had stole $250,000 and she was so sorry. And he was like, well, don't date it. And she was like, but I didn't do any of these things. And he was like, well, if you didn't do anything, then it doesn't matter that you're signing this paper. But she's 16. So for whatever reason, that's what she did. And, you know, a lot of times people try to bring this back to, well, where are the parents? And granted, some of these parents are, I feel like, definitely have some, I don't know what the word is, some culpability. Some culpability for sure. But some of these girls had parents, like, you know, like a mom and a dad in the home that loved them, that went to school, that were like, you know, so it wasn't a situation. But these girls, as we know, teenagers do rebel. They're like, oh no, he gonna be my boyfriend. He good to me. You don't even know. Like, he loves me. I've been that girl. You know what I mean? Not to that degree, but you know, you can't get a word in with them. There's no reasoning with a teenager who is very like, I'm gonna go, da-da-da. This one girl's supposed to be going to school. The parents think that's where she's at. They find out she's not at school. They're looking all, this is about the Azalea girl. I think that's how you say her name. or Azria or something like that. And like the parents are like, if they find out where she is and she's finally like, I'm at a hotel with R. Kelly auditioning, and they drive there instantly and they're opening up they have the hotel managers and the cops there like, no, find me my daughter, whatever. R. Kelly conveniently slips out the back. And, there's all of these things, or it's not just a parent issue of, where were the parents? These are children who make children's mistakes, but they're being preyed on by a grown-ass man. And because he knows what he's doing is wrong, he has these things in place to help him should he get in trouble. So he's got the NDAs, and he's got this letter that this child wrote saying that she did all these things, and then he can be like, see, she did this, and that's the only reason why she's saying that now. So he had, for sure, he knows he's wrong. And then you have the video, and I haven't seen the whole Surviving R. Kelly, so I can't speak to all of it, but the pieces that I did see, where they're talking about the different women and they're saying their story, like, it starts off normal. He starts off like this guy who pretends to be one thing, and, oh, I'm only interested in your music. Oh, you're so talented. You're so blah, blah, blah. And then it turns into, can I be honest with you? Can I be vulnerable with you? And then you have the counselors and the psychologists coming on being like, yes, they do that to give you a piece of what, like, oh, this is something he's only sharing with me. Like, this is something that criminals do, monsters do, to get you to fake trust them. And then that's when they lay, them real cells on them. And like, so people were saying like, R. Kelly is this fun guy, but Robert is the devil, like, and how they are separating. So whether that's because he is bipolar, whether that's because, he just takes on multiple personalities, whether that's just, it's a facade, and, I don't know how, it's just crazy to me, but I don't know. The whole thing is, I'm almost at a loss, because you keep hearing so much about it. Yeah. And then you hear that you throw in the fact that he was molested as a young boy, him and his brother, by his sister. Like, granted, that's catastrophic and it's devastating, and you can see how that can spiral into this, but it also doesn't take away his crimes. It doesn't make it okay because he was molested that he was now able to molest all of these young girls. And like you said, the people in his camp that went along with it, because that's the only way he would have been able to survive for this long, is that people were covering up for him and helping him do this. I mean, to the point of helping recruit chicks for him. Like, I mean,
we can be mad, but at the same time, his sales have grown up.
Well, I have heard that too. And I think, and Jada Pinkett like talked about that and was like, I just can't believe it. But I think the reason, and this is what I hope this is the reason, is that as people are finding out more about the story and going, what? Then they're going back like to hear that song. No, was he really saying? Because that's what made me think. It was like, maybe they were like, is AJ Nothing But a Number really about that? Is,
it's been going on for years. So it's not just now that we're finally, oh my gosh, we've had hints the whole time. So it's not like like for it to spike now. It's just like, it's just the culture now.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with them. Oh, let me find out, investigating. They've known. We've known. Like, I grew up knowing that something happened between him and Aaliyah. We knew that was coming out. We just stepped in the name of.
I think in my mind when we did, hear the speculations about Aaliyah. I don't think that it was presented in, he did this to her. Yes, it's disgusting and it's inappropriate in the sense that he's 27 and she's 15. But, if you think back, that wasn't that, I don't want to say that wasn't that big of a deal, but like,
it wasn't
presented like he's a sexual predator and he kidnapped her and he forced himself on her and this is how she got big.
From the victim.
I think it was, I mean, but I'm just telling you how I remember knowing that and processing that information. In my mind, it was, they had a sexual relationship, like she loved him, and that's why she made the song Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, because in her mind, that's what she believed, and that's what it was. And he helped her with her career and yada, yada, yada. And then eventually they broke up, and that was my thought process, because it didn't even occur to me that she was battered or she was molested or that she was assaulted. It just, because that was the only information that I had. That was the spin that we were given. So I had no reason to doubt it.
Right.
Well, I think it comes down, and you pose a question: is it we don't expose it? So a few things that you said that I want to address. You are absolutely right. There are teenage children that are not going to listen to their parents. They're going to do them. Now it could be debated on what their upbringing was, what the discipline was like, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to be the adult. And if it's not going to be R. Kelly, then it's got to be somebody in his camp. That's the adult. Are we worried about what white people are going to think about us if certain things or certain secrets in the community are exposed? I was speaking in New York recently, and that question was posed to me, and not about R. Kelly, but about what white people will think. Should we care?
That's what I was thinking.
Like, should we care? Like to me, when people say that, like, that's a fallacy in thinking. That's part of the psychosis. Like, I don't care what you think. As a matter of fact, if we want to just really get in depth with it, most of this can be taken back to the bowels of the slave system that you created. So you can't tell me anything. You had whole communities of people coming out to watch lynchings after church on Sunday. So do I care what white people think about black people? They're going to think that anyway. I have some thoughts about them and their community, right, so that they need to clean up. Right. So my concern is our community. That behavior should have been checked, and it should have been checked from someone in his camp. Right. Because the teenager is not the adult. But the adults that were there, bruh, you can't do that. You can't do that. And for the people and I said it the other day, I'll say it again, for the people that were sticking up saying, oh, they're just trying to bring down another black man. I'm a black man living in this country. Trust me. I know what death threats are like. I know what all of that is like. If you feel like that, send your teenage daughter down there to stay with them then. If you feel like that, send your daughter down there. Send your 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old daughter down there. Because what we're talking about is, if they're bringing down a black man, then that means that you don't believe that he did it. So send your child down there for that audition. Remy, that problem right there. Right. So I don't see too many people getting those airplane tickets ready to put their daughter on that plane to go down there. So stop it. Let's stop protecting pedophiles. Let's stop protecting rapists. And why the question then comes back to, why do black women not feel protected? And this is one of the reasons. And some of them brought that up. Like, yo, how can you feel protected when the first person that sexually assaulted you was a black man?
Point blank period. Yeah.
Now, the other thing is R. Kelly 27, Aaliyah 15. Could it have been R. Kelly 27 and John Benet Ramsey 15? Would white people have let that go? So again, what is the value on a black girl's life in this country? Yeah. And we cannot allow others to put a value. We have to put that value on our own lives, but particularly our children, particularly our children, and particularly our young black girls. I mean, we have to protect them. And so we absolutely know that there's not a place in this country where R. Kelly could have gotten away with sleeping with a 15-year-old white girl. It's not, they would have buried him under the prison, buried him. But because it was a young black girl, where does the value lie in that? And it doesn't. It doesn't.
I think I'm sitting there as you're talking, and like I said, there comes a time where you have to kind of get this out of your system, or get this talked about, or put this in the forefront, because it's not just the McDonald's, is not just R. Kelly. There's so much other stuff that is, in my opinion, being swept under the rug because of social media, because of hip hop. And I'm saying that as a hip hop head as a DJ, but again, I'm not blind to the fact with that there's an influence there as well. And it does direct certain males and females on how to act based on some of the stuff that is listened to or some of the stuff that's put out there musically. I said all that to say, anytime, whether it be once a month, because we've done that before, where you can come back and just stick on a topic or topics, that we can continue to do this, especially this year, going into this new year, man. We'd love to have you. The door is always open for you, because again, we have a lot of fun on here, but this stuff also needs to be on the forefront, and everything that you said is placed on a very, very high value plate. We definitely respect everything.
Yeah, I think it's almost like we were talking about, what is this show really about, like, and how much information should we focus on as, we play music of underground artists, like this is what our show is about. Like, that is one of the aspects of the show, but it's not the only one. Like, I would almost consider it, I don't know what the word is, but we're not giving it ourselves or Black people or the community justice if all we're doing is sitting around talking about the latest hip hop song, when we have something like this that's happening, because it does need to be talked about. And the fact that we don't talk about it or delve into what really matters, and like you're saying, like you're bringing up, like, do Black women feel safe? And that's really what this all comes down to. And sexual molestation and how prevalent it is. Like, if we don't address it, then it's like it's not important to us. And I'm not going to have a whole long conversation about a Cardi B song while this is going on. Like, yes, I like Cardi B. Yay, I'm happy for you. Yay, queen, get your life, whatever, get your bag. But in the real things that matter to my life, I have 2 pretty little young girls at home. And I don't give 2 shits about Cardi B and how much money she's getting when it comes to how my 2 girls are growing up into a world where Trump is their president, for one, and there were tears shed in our household when he won. And there were hurt feelings when they went to school and had to interact with their white classmates who were excited, whose parents were thrilled that this man who just a month prior was like, grab him by the pussy, is like, yes, we're inaugurating him. Like, are you, like, it was absolutely devastating. And so for us to have that kind of conversation and then focus on something as insignificant as, like, who's hosting the Grammys? Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, this is way more important. I really need us to solve this problem, because here I am fearful of where my children are allowed to be and who are they allowed to be friends with. And do I know his mom? I don't, like, do I know her mom? I don't allow my children to spend the night at other people's houses unless I have thoroughly had several conversations, and I don't know the dad. So what if the dad's creepy? Is there an older brother that pops in from time to time? Like, all of these go into my decisions. And while I know they're probably like, dang, like, she'll never let us do something, like, and I don't want to shelter them too much, because then you run into that whole, then they want to be rebels once they do get to leave the house. No, I have actual conversations with, these are the reasons why mommy doesn't let you listen to this kind of music, because I don't want you to constantly hear music about drugs, because I don't want you to be so desensitized that you think it's cool because everybody is talking about popping pills. Why not try a few? Even Drake, who we think is so whatever, Drake was talking about this song or that song or this chick and that. Like, that's unacceptable for my 12 and 14-year-old to hear. Now, when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, and we can have a real conversation about, this is music, this is just an outlet, he's an artist, this is not necessarily the reflections of who he is as a person, or maybe they are. You have to be able to discern what's good for you. Maybe that's different. But right now, I need you to hear what I need you to hear. And what I need you to hear is this is what's going on in real life and how I can keep you safe. And it is already so many things that, like, you know, there's a drug bust going on in middle schools, like real drug bust, like in Pickerington. And here I am thinking I live somewhere fancy. Like, look at me. I didn't come up. I didn't put my kids in a good school system. But did I? Like, because it's happening everywhere. And it's a very scary world to live in. So this show can't just be about, like you said, you know, the fun. You know, it's got to be about real stuff too. Like,
I think, and too, when we talk about our children, and particularly our young daughters, you can do so much in the home. There's so much you can do in the home. And if this is the home, if this is the spot where we teach, where we love together, we eat together, we pray together, we do everything together. Once that door is opened, you got the R. Kellys. You got the young guys who are going through puberty. You don't know what their parents are doing with them. You got the hip hop. You got the Gestapo, or what we call the Devils in Blue, right? Patrolling the community like they control the Palestinians, like the Israelis do over there. You got just a multitude. In certain communities, you got liquor stores. You got abandoned buildings. You have to walk through broken glass. You have to, in certain communities, you might hear gunshots going to school. Then you get to school. And if you're in a certain area in the country, well, now you might get a dose of, hey, we're going to learn about transgenderism today. Now you might get a dose of this drag queen is going to teach this class. And you as the parent might not have been privy to this information because they don't even respect you. Right. They don't even want to give you the choice to say, no, I don't want my child susceptible to that. Right. Because that's exactly what's going on in California right now. Middle schoolers and kindergartners going to school and being subjugated to, you're going to be taught by a drag queen today. That being a drag queen, there's nothing wrong with it. So then you get them back at the end of the day. After they done went through this minefield, you get them back and you have to re-prep them again. You have to re-prep every day. And so if you're not the parent that preps them, because I do a lot of stuff at the schools, I see parents pulling up, banging system. You're subjecting that child to that this early in the morning. And before the child can get both feet out of the car, they pulling off. So you've made the school the daycare.
Couldn't wait to get rid of them.
Couldn't wait to get them out the house. And you still in your bathrobe, so you going back to get in bed. You ain't even going to work. I mean, come on. And so that's what our children are dealing with. So then a dude like R. Kelly pulls up. He's got some fame, some money. He's supposed to be the adult. He should be the one in their ear teaching how valuable they are and how they need to be keeping dudes up off of them. But he's the one in their ear trying to get on with them. So and so that's what we fight against, the principalities of, you know.
Give everyone how you can be reached. We're going to take a quick commercial break and get into our sister over here, Whitney.
Yes.
Give everybody how you can be reached, social media, all that good stuff. And if there's anything that you're doing, I know you do spoken word as well. Anything you got coming up, please share that with us.
Okay. You can connect with me, Yurima Karama, www.yurimakarama.com. Go there to check out my bio. If you like the bio, you can book me. Speaking engagements, performance, poetry, hip hop. I will go any place in the world. Yes, we keep the passport on fleet, always ready to go. Also, I am founder of the Unity Walk. So if you want to learn more about the Unity Walk, go to www.theunitywalk.com. We are literally about connecting and unifying Black communities. We've had them all over this country. The last one we had was in New York. The last two we've had were in New York. Phenomenal people. Some of the best people you will meet in the world is the people that you might not know now. So you need to come out to a Unity Walk, get connected with your family. Also connect with me on Facebook, IG, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And I do have the app coming out, probably going to be within the next week. So check out Yurima Karama, the app on iOS and Android.
We appreciate you, bro.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes. Here is our homegirl, Leah Moniz, one of my favorite people right here, man. The song is called Chill Session. We'll be back with Whitney Chanel.
Yay.
Before I run to the door.
me and you. I wanna do what you wanna do. Let me be real with you, baby. I don't want to lust you. I only wanna you.
Honestly, you have me open and conscious. I can read you like a book and be hooked on phonics. Mighty fine. I would love to fly if you get high. I'll catch that cloud too, only with you. My oh my, you're giving me something that's different. I don't want to open thighs, I'd rather open your mind and see your intellect. Don't make me sweat, but I work for you. I got that house for you. Got my temperature rising, whatever is on your mind, let me know, cause I'm your rider. Let me enlighten you to a brand new feeling. Teach me to love everything you've been seasoned with. I'll be down throughout any season, and I won't give many reasons to call it quits. Cause, baby, you rock my boat, catch my wave, don't drift from my heart. Let's spend this time unwrapping what I close.
Me and you. I wanna do what you wanna do. Let me be real with you, baby. I don't want to lust you. I only wanna you.
There's many others I could sleep with. Though you make my dreams better. We don't have to fornicate to feel each other. I do want to get deeper. First, I need to figure out if you're a keeper, not just a one-night stand. I want to be able to stand you forever. Chilling like we're best friends until we become lovers. It's simple, don't make it complex. I'm trying to match a complex. Ignite me, light me a fire because you excite me. I can't get over your entire existence. I've never been one to cling to another. But brother, my brown brother, you fascinate me. All I do is wonder why you run through my brain. Why do you make me stutter? Butterflies flutter inside my stomach cause of you.
Me and you. I wanna do what you wanna do. Let me be real with you, baby. I don't want to lust you. I only wanna you. Me and you. I wanna do what you wanna do. Let me be real with you, baby. I don't want to lust you. I only wanna you, baby. I just wanna chill with you, baby. I don't wanna lust you, baby.
Progress is a process. I've been known to work on projects. I get caught up in my concepts, still pulling at my conscience. Still wonder if they still in flows, snatching niggas' content. And if it's for $1, nigga known to do some nonsense. Nigga rob that nigga sell. There's nothing they could tell us. Pass us through them schools. Real world, nigga, they gon' fell us shit. Music make us slaves. $10, they gon' sell us. We made it in the house and yet they locked us in the cellar. It's cool, I got a hole in my ceiling. Don't know how I'm feeling. Try to take what's mine and I'm killing. Label the villain, but my mom, she got like 9 other children. So we allegiant to the dream, bitch. I pledge my allegiance. Yeah, this my season. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. In the house, no smoking endo. Sister crack a bedroom window. This is more than simple highs. London hit a new crescendo. We was kids stuck in limbo. Pick a locker, pick a pencil. My brother loved his art. Couple times he drew his pistol in the pocket. Them white crystals, man, them jewels with simple tools. We ain't need no Jamie Foxx to start breaking all the rules. Give me 12 months of April just to keep these niggas full. Trying to pay my daddy back for all them extra shifts he pulled, but we was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids. Southside. This the vision, though. Skate like figure four to the liquor store. Kick back where that shit get pulled. I don't want no more. Devil want my soul. He won't get it though. Nights of sleeping on the floor. Days of waking up his pole. That was just a phase. Cut it out like fades. Head and turn to gray, cause where we stay, that's just how we play. Cause of how we live. Doing what we did. We was kids, man. They thinking that they know us. Bitch, there ain't no script. We was acting like the grown-ups. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southsiding. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southsiding. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southsiding. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southsiding.
Breaking Ground Radio, your spot with local and mainstream collab. We are back at it right here, man, on your Thursday. It's about half past the hour. We are in your ear for about another half an hour. And we are going to chop it up with our good friend, Whitney Chanel, who we are always glad to see. Hi,
You're so silly.
and Breaking Ground Radio. She did go on sabbatical. Like you do that like every 3 months, though.
I do that. People say that's my biggest flaw, or like one
that
of them.
you just disappear.
I disappear. No, people
you
say
gotta
that.
get yourself
People say I
together.
do it all the
Many
time.
times as it takes.
They say I do it all the time.
Your
Like,
true friends will understand, so forget
They
that.
do. They just like when I pop back up, they're like, "Oh, what's up?"
There
Well,
she goes.
sometimes I get mad with you
She
because
gets mad at me all the
I
time.
do get mad because like I'll be in a text conversation with this girl and then suddenly she'll go dead and I'll be like
Jesus.
we'll make plans and I'm like, oh, so we're gonna hang out, right? Or we're gonna do such and such, right? And
Nothing.
she's like, oh yeah, girl, and then nothing, and I'm like,
Says the person that left me on red like last time we made plans.
Mm.
She read my message and then didn't invite me.
Mm.
She asked me to go somewhere with her, and I said,
Mm.
"Hey,
It
girl."
all comes out.
This
I
is not true.
It all comes
This is
out.
not a true statement. Like, you can go ahead and tell your
I
story.
was okay, I will. So I said, "Hey, girl, yeah, that's fine." She's like, "Hey, let's go to Cooper's Hawk." I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
not
'cause
what
I get
happened,
I was
but
like,
I
"I
love
get
you.
off at 6."
Anyway.
I said, "What time do you want to go up there?"
Okay, that's not what
And then
happened,
the little
guys.
face dropped like bloop,
Bloop.
and I saw her here like a week later.
Nice.
It's not what happened, but okay.
So
Anyway,
Let's
Whitney
talk
Chanel
about-
is here.
Thank
Okay.
goodness we have
Whitney
technology.
Chanel is here.
Don't just have-
Our homie, photographer, makeup artist. She is back to give us her insights on being single and dating, right? Not like being
Yes.
single, but like that's what your whole show is about.
I'm chronically single.
Okay, it's probably a blessing in disguise because there's lots of creeps out here. But
Oh, I can testify to that.
yes.
I can tell you all about
And-
few dates.
And okay, go. You have the floor. I don't know what else you're gonna
Do
say
your-
because
I-
it
I
could
would-
be
I
anything
would-
at this point.
I would
I have a lot of
do
scary
your-
stories.
Do this
Yes.
first.
Sip and slay.
Yes. And then go into
What?
her-
Yeah, I got because we have so much to catch up on.
Right.
So let me get you guys up to date about the Sip and Slay. I'm so excited because I met with my makeup artist on Monday. So we have Isabella Snow.
Okay.
We have Beat and Bomb by Mar. Her name is Tamara.
Okay.
She's gonna be the one. I have my friend, my ex. She used to be my boss. That's the craziest thing. She used to be my boss, but now she's coming on to help out with the skincare.
Nice.
Her name is Krista. I have another one that's in the works, Shasta. She's another makeup artist that's gonna be helping out. And like, I'm so surprised I have so many people that are like reaching out to help out. I have tons of vendors that have reached out to get their products at the event. I'm just excited.
So So
what is the Sip and Slay?
So the Sip and Slay, what it is I'm gonna make it a 6 series workshop. It's gonna be hands-on where I do makeup. So you'll start off with like the basic 101, which is the one in January. And then you'll work your way up to like full glam makeup. Because there's a lot of people that, I can do your makeup, but like you'd like to learn yourself. You know, like some things.
And save yourself some money.
That's how I fell into doing makeup. You know, that's how I learned how to do it, because that's how I learned how to do a lot of things, because like I'm impatient. So instead of me trying to sit up here and pay someone else, I'm like, let me figure it out myself. So I mean, like, why not give back? You know, like I'm not the type that's going to sit up here and hold my talent. Like, why not? So I think that this is a good event because it's incorporating other makeup artists as well. Mm-hmm. We're all coming together. It's not a competition. It's something positive. You can drink, which is always great. You know,
deep side, but yes, deep side. It is.
But I feel like it's a good event, and it's something that I just was thinking about, and like I'm excited and I'm kind of like overwhelmed because like I didn't think that it would ever come to this. I didn't think it would actually happen until I actually put that down payment down on my the venue. Because I say a lot of stuff, but you know, like for me to actually do it, I'm like, I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
I'm proud of myself.
So, okay, so basically ladies are going to get to come.
Ladies and men, because I have men that are interested. Not saying, you know, not the full glam makeup, of course, but you know, there's men that are still interested in, what do you call it, manscaping?
Okay,
there's
well, what are they? I'm not hating, yay for them. But what exactly are they coming to get done? Is it that black beard thing?
Knowledge, maybe the
you know, that fill in the
what
beard.
What is that called?
I don't know. That black
the fibers. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say who had
you
it.
Already did. Marcus Dixon, come to the front. Come to the front.
I didn't know you knew his
congregation.
Name.
Oh, I know his
Facebook
name.
now.
Oh, yeah, well.
But anyways, to make him feel better, he only did it one time, and then it grew in the rest. He was able to fulfill it. But you know, I just Isabella is actually bringing men as guests. She has a few men, so it's not just women.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna just make it women, but you know, anybody can come. But you know, like it's just something where you can come and get a little bit more education. And I'm also, because I was trying to come up with a budget, and I was like, okay, well, I can buy them brushes, I can buy them this, I can buy them that, but why not let them bring what they have?
Yes,
so
because
I can
that's
show
what they're
you how
actually
to
going
use
to
what you
be.
have.
Yeah. Because that's something that's a tool that you can actually use, because you having 27 brushes at your disposal to teach me, and I have 3 at home is not going to be helpful when I get in front of that mirror.
That is going to be a part of it, so that you can bring your own makeup, like what you have, and I can show you how to use what you have at your disposal, instead of me just giving you more stuff that you don't know what to do with.
Yes.
So that is going to be a section. We have little activities, just little things that, you know, just to incorporate, because then you have to figure out things that are important. Like 101, we're doing undertones and determining your skin type, like problem areas, just prepping and priming, just things that are important. Skincare is very important. Giving you guys the list of like expiration date stuff expires, but you just keep using it and you keep using it. And like even when I was doing your makeup,
I have some old things that I should not be using. Like I am for certain of it.
And then just like when I was doing your makeup, there's things that, you know, I have. You know, what were we talking about? When I did your makeup, just little things that would help you in your journey of being like the makeup, you know, and eventually you get to like the eyelashes, the eyebrows and all that stuff. But like, I feel like this is important to know. Mm-hmm. So 101 I think it's important.
Is there an age range that you're working with? Like, I mean, can people bring their young teenage daughters? Or
I think it would be nice. You can go ahead and bring your daughters. I mean, like, as long as they're not sipping on the stuff. But you know, like, I think that it would be important because girls.
Okay, I would just like everybody to know I wouldn't murder my children.
But you know, I feel like it's important for.
Are you leaving? Oh,
I feel like it's important for young girls to come too, because like now my nieces are to an age now where they're trying to wear makeup, and like let them know how to do it properly. That they need to wash. Don't touch your face. You know what? Not puberty. You got pimples popping up everywhere. I think it's important.
No, absolutely.
So bring the kids. I think it's a good idea to bring the kids. You know, just so they can have the skincare, at least at a minimum, get the skincare, so they know how to take care of their face.
Okay.
Because I picked at my face as a kid.
Okay, gross.
I did.
That sounds gross.
I did. My aunt, shout out to Aunt Sharon.
Shout out Aunt Sharon.
She was like, never touch your face. She was like, never.
Yeah, I have definitely had, had discussions with my girls about like not popping pimples, and for whatever reason, if they like, I think picture day was the next day, and so my youngest felt like she needed to, because I was going to suddenly make it better, and I was like, no, if you do it, it's going to leave a mark and it's going to make it a bigger deal. Yes, I know it sucks that you have it, but you're going to make a permanent mark where this one will go away. She didn't listen, and then later she was like, I should have listened. So then the next like 2 weeks she was wearing like a Band-Aid on her face, on her nose actually, because in her mind it made her feel better. And I was like, but now I'm just like, you're drawing more attention to it. And she was like, yeah, but even though everybody knows it's there, they can't see it, but they can just see my cool Band-Aid. And I was like, whatever.
Let me tell you about what I did in 7th grade. I was trying to shape my eyebrows in 7th grade, chopped them off. Like I chopped, and then my mom was like, she asked me, she's like, so what happened when you got to the second one? Why did you chop the second one off?
To match the first?
And that's what I told her, and she got so mad. She got so, I chopped my eyebrows off. And then my mom had to draw them in every morning for like a month.
Well, at least she cared enough, because my mom would have sent me to school looking a fool, so that I would forever remember what it was. Okay, so we've got that going on. That's very exciting.
I hope. Okay, registration. I gotta tell you guys. Register. Please. You guys can register now. It's at sipandslaykolumbus.ticketleap.com. Register now, because the registration, I actually have to cut it off at the 24th because I'm buying the workbooks. They're gonna have actual workbooks, and I'm buying them for the people. So I need to know how many people it is, because I can't. I'm paying for it.
Right. The life of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right. So this is an investment. This first one is an investment. So I mean, like, I just need to know how many people are coming. So the registration cuts off on the 24th. I'm shooting for 25 to 30 people at the most. That is, so after that, it's going to cut off, and you just have to catch it in March.
That's dope, though.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I definitely want you guys to come home.
No. Sorry. Resume. Sorry, my live got crazy. Oh no, it's on me. No. Oh no. Sorry, I knew clearly. No.
Wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready. Okay. So what is your makeup tip today? I want one. I want it today. You're on spot. I mean,
go.
Lay it on us. Makeup tip, skincare tip. Besides, don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
Okay.
Oh, and mascara, don't pump the wand.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Don't pump the wand.
Don't do that.
That's bacteria.
Yes.
You're locking in the bacteria.
I taught my girls that.
Yeah, don't lock that. Let's see. What else can I tell you? Whenever you're using eyeliner, make sure you shave the first layer off.
Okay, because it's dirty.
Bacteria.
Okay.
You gotta watch out for the bacteria.
From the last time you used it.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
And also make sure you go. So if you want to get into like wearing the foundation stuff, just make sure you go maybe the first time. You don't have to go every time, but go one time to get your skin, like the foundation chosen, so that you can know. Because I mean, I see a lot of girls that have off-colored foundation and stuff. So I definitely would suggest that you go to like a Sephora, somewhere to just find out what your tone is. A good brand. And you don't always have to go for the expensive stuff. That's another thing. Like, don't always go for the expensive stuff. There are good brands that are cheap and affordable. You don't, like the Max and stuff, but there's good Maybellines and CoverGirls that you can go to. But yeah. So, I mean, come to Sip and Slay and get the rest of the info.
Okay. I like that.
Sip and Slay. You got to follow it on Instagram. Sip and Slay Columbus on Instagram.
Yes. I just tagged you on Breaking Radio, so
register. What else is there? Register. That's basically it. I'll be dropping in before it goes on, just so you guys can stay up to date with what's going on. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'll be there in the little corner playing
DJ Swmpthing. Are you coming, Tiffany?
Playing some house stuff.
You coming?
To what?
To my event.
The Sip and Slay? Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I thought I'd already established that. We just talked about.
You didn't register, so I didn't know.
Well, last time I was here, first off, we gonna stop. Hold on.
That's the second time since
right. Shots fired. No, but the last time we were here, you said you had to rework it because you had it for 25, so you wanted to make it free.
So now it's free.
So now that's your fault. You're welcome. Let's get all the facts straight. Yeah. Anywho, Now let's discuss
what my dating life.
Yes, or
Laptop.
what your certainly you can discuss your own personal, give us some anecdotes for sure. But what is your advice? What current topics are something that you feel like single Black women or single women in general need to consider, or what troubles you guys are currently facing? What's up? What's current on the dating scene?
Women I don't know if we're necessarily making more money than men, but I feel like we're achieving more things, we're accomplishing more than our male counterparts. We have a lot of women that are starting businesses at a alarming rate in comparison to men. So I mean, like with dating, issue that I come across is like the intimidation of a woman that's out getting like a go-getter woman. Like, is that what that? And then we have to deal with the bootylicious models, the bootylicious models, and compare. Like there's a lot of things going on in the dating scene. Like,
so you feel pressure as a single woman to have the fake booty of the many Instagram models? Is that what
I mean, yes, it's pressure because then, you have a dude that's, oh, you're pretty, but then, like, all you see is them liking pictures of big booty models on their Instagram and stuff. It kind of makes you feel like, So, I mean, there are pressures that, like, that's a pressure, the pressures of,
well, I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I'm for certain that my husband likes every big.
I mean, it's not even that because
it's on his Instagram page, and he has the ones who are full on dancing and the whole nine.
I mean, there's entertainment value in that, so it's not like you can just sit up here and be like, oh, well, he's no good because he likes big booty models on Instagram. But I mean, it's a little, it's a little something in the back of your mind. Definitely. And then like the pressures of me being like with me dating, like I said, like being a go-getter. Oftentimes I can't find someone that, wants to
match your hustle.
Yeah, because I just need someone that you don't need. Like, I need you to match my hustle. Not even you don't have to be going out doing everything in the world, but I need you to have that in you to still want to be further than you are.
Right.
And a lot of
and drive.
Ambitious. I need you to be passionate about life. Like some people just get so stuck in their rut. But I was on the phone talking to someone earlier. We were talking about how, because my ex, he used to call me scatterbrained. And like, I realized that with him saying that, as much as I don't like him, but like I took from that, everybody has their roles in life. And, like, because you have those people that don't see, they don't have vision. And it's okay that you don't have vision. But, like as somebody that's a creative, you have to date someone that is a creative also. Because we need the workers. We need those people that can't see, that don't want to do anything. You need those people in life, period. Because, like, who else are you going to hire to do this stuff for your business?
Right.
So that's something that, from him calling me scatterbrained. But it's just a lot of, I got, just my dating. I've been reading books, dating books.
Are you still on those sites? Plenty of Fish and all that stuff?
I just deleted my app yesterday. And I won't be getting it back because I have to pay iTunes. So,
oh yeah,
and iTunes can suck it. But I mean, like, there's other things. Like, I want to bring back my Confessions of a Single Lady because I've been reading this book called The 10 Dating Rules, and it's interesting. Just talking about being equally yoked and communications and being transparent. There's a bunch of topics, but I have a lot to talk about when it comes to being.
So is that a tease that you might be bringing that back?
I think so. I think I'm gonna do it.
Think you're gonna do it? It's gonna be in the same type of fashion with podcasts, internet radio,
in my
fashion.
House.
At the house.
At the house.
With a glass of wine sitting on the.
Glass of wine. With Confessions of a Single Lady.
Yeah. Have Tiffany L over and you guys talk about that on your couch.
Yeah.
Live stream.
I got this cool ring light.
With a blue mic.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, I'm just listening.
I got a ring light.
Sorry. I
got this ring light that is amazing, and it has a mirror on it.
Is it clips on your phone? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this is an actual ring light.
Oh yeah. Oh,
okay.
It
sits on your desk. It sits on your desk.
I've seen that. It's pretty dope too.
It is.
Yeah, and it's bright as hell. So again, go over where they can get the tickets and stuff from again.
SipandSlayColumbus.ticketleap.com. You can follow on Instagram at Sip and Slay Columbus. And I'm going to be doing highlights for the people that are involved with it throughout, like up to build up that anticipation for the event. But I feel like it's a lot of dope personalities coming together, and we're going to, have a nice little event.
Is this
regardless of the haters?
Going to be monthly, semi-monthly?
So it's going to be bi-monthly because I don't want that pressure every month, but it's going to be 6 sessions. So this one's January. So you can expect them like March, May, and so forth and so on.
I'm proud of it.
But yeah, so
that'll be dope.
I know, and like I really do appreciate everybody that's helping me out. I just want to give a quick shout out to my little people, Marv, Annie,
go hard,
Janice, Reader for Queen of Shots. You got my brothers helping out, my sister Janice White with her shirts and stuff. You guys are helping. You guys will be there. It's just I'm excited.
Of course,
I appreciate you guys.
Just real quick change the subject one because I thought about it and I don't want to. I brought it up in the beginning of the show, but I want to make sure I bring it up again. And that is this weekend. Shout out to the Affiliation brand. My guy Dustin, who is an artist, and he also has a clothing brand. He is very close with the Blatant brand, who we are official partners with. Shout out to Bardo. We will be at Starstruck. Shout out to Starstruck.
Oh, I love that place.
This Saturday for the Affiliation anniversary. It is their first year of their brand.
Okay.
So that's what we're celebrating. And we'll have it at one of what I would still like to think as one of the premier apparel brands in Starstruck. So shout out to Jaleel there. So we're gonna be there celebrating, man. So you guys, it's free. There'll be a couple of performers. I think it's only like 4, not too many. It's mostly just gonna be a celebration. So Breaking Ground will be in the house. So come out and check that out. Then there's a lot of other stuff that's coming up within the next month or so. Blatant is also doing a fashion show that's next month. So we'll keep you updated on that. My son is actually modeling for some of those pictures on Sunday. Yeah, Bardo got him a couple Blatant shirts, so he's going to be modeling. I'm anxious to see how that's going to work. I think it'll be cool, though. He's a handsome young guy.
You're so funny.
But
that's exciting.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. He's excited about it. He picked out he's going to be changing 3 times, so he already picked out his 3 jeans and his different pair of shoes.
That's exciting as a dad.
Oh, yeah, we're going to check that out. And I appreciate Bardo for plugging him in there. So, yeah, man, so that we're going to be doing that. And,
Also, next Wednesday, January the 16th, is another installment of the open mic that George Echo Lee puts on at Spectators Lounge. I think it's called Word Up Wednesday.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. I believe it starts at 7 and it goes to about 9-10 o'clock, and it features, and also at the end of the open mic, he and his fiance do a relationship advice kind of portion where you can ask them questions. And if you're not familiar with George Echo Lee, he is a spoken word artist who talks a lot about the power of Black women and Black love. And most infamously, the way he met his fiance was he wrote poetry that was written to Dear Future Wife, and stating all the things that he was going to do for her and that what she would mean to him and what he was going to do for her. Huh?
I wrote a piece like that before.
You should share. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. So definitely, if you can make it out on Wednesday, that is a dope event. He does it every other Wednesday. So that is next Wednesday going on.
No doubt. Make sure you follow on both Breaking Ground pages, Facebook and IG. We are, well, I know I am, and I think I can speak for everybody else. We are definitely trying to maintain the upkeep, I guess is the best way for me to say it, on both sites, and keep you guys fresh on what's going on, what we're doing, or what's going on with the show, or if you noticed, if you were checking the Instagram page, you noticed that I put every single artist that we played on our page Shout out to Jess Doit because she was the one who kind of started that, and I'm just kind of running with it because I think it's a great idea. And then we're gonna try to real here in the future actually have the song played as we were talking about earlier today. So we're gonna try and keep things fresh for you guys. We appreciate the support as always. So follow me on Swmpthing DJ on Instagram, just DJ Swmpthing on Facebook, and all that jazz. You guys want to give your social medias real quick before we're out? Have a great weekend, by the way.
Whitney Chanel. You can find me on Instagram, Miss Whitney Chanel. And if you go there and there's no post, that's really me. I just went on a sabbatical. I'll follow you back.
Right.
I'm
book Whitney Chanel.
Tiffany L on Facebook and Tielco Tielco on Instagram. My Instagram is whack. I need to get it together. I know. I keep trying. Maybe 2019 is the year. We'll give it a try. I just want to go out on a little positive note. There is a 13-year-old Black girl, Marcy Martin. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And she is 13 years old, and she has just recently become the youngest Black executive producer in Hollywood history. She, along with Regina Hall and Issa Rae, are starring in a movie called Little, which is basically, and it was actually her dream, the little girl's dream. It's the girl from Blackish.
Bless it. Yeah.
And she said that she watched Big, and it was one of her favorite movies.
Really?
And so she had this idea of Little, and basically it is a version where Regina Hall plays a tech mogul. She's an adult version of the character, and Martin is the 13-year-old version. And she wakes up as her adult self and has all like these major like job presentation things she's got to do. And she gets to go through what it's like to be an awkward teen, but also coming into success and the price of success and the power of sisterhood and having a second chance to grow up. So I'm excited. That sounds really awesome. But mostly like Black girls out here winning. So
13.
Hashtag Black Girl Magic.
No doubt. Congratulations. We're leaving you with like Sean Carter, Ron McCall, man. We'll see y'all.
We
Peace.
Winning.
We winning.
I tell the truth like it ain't an option. Your raps don't equate. See, we total opposites. You talk drug money, blood money. That's a pyro or a Pyrex while his kids watching Doug Funny. I spit soliloquies, plus I mastered the alphabet. So I'm ill with syllables and never use spell check. My style's ironic, I get A's and F'ing them up. Nickname should be atomic, I'm flexing on them, putting pressure on them. I'm America's next top artist, maybe even role model, compared to greats already. And I got hate from within them city gates from people who say they rock with me. Where was you at when I was up to 6 o'clock writing? Let me guess, somewhere hovering over my back, fighting. I'm one of the nicest.